What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Get Well Soon, the red pill content of Welly F, aka Moriarty. You already know what time it is. As you see, women stay on their BS no matter what time of the year it is. Solipsism rises. I thought this particular tweet was hella funny because it put me in the mindset of a lot of things, but I realized that in these current times that we're in, the concept of positive affirmation has went out the window. Like, it's so hilarious to me because I tell people that listen this all the time. Because I've noticed that women have this particular need to use positive affirmation as a way of trying to convince people that they're actually happy on the outside when they're dying on the inside. I'm a firm believer that happy people do not mind seeing other people happy. Obviously, we all know misery loves company. So if I'm miserable, I want you to be miserable too. If I'm happy and you're happy, we're just in this happy place together. I have no beef. It's perfect. Those two things sync. They go together. So one thing that I've noticed about a lot of modern day women especially is they use positive affirmation when they're on social media all the time, trying to show off to the world like, oh, I'm happy, oh, God is good, God is great, I'm going to conquer this day, and all this and all that. And I've always laughed when I saw it because I felt like that was just textbook therapy session advice. Your therapist told you to use positive affirmation as a way to speak it into existence. And although I'm not the most religious guy on the planet, not even close, I do believe faith without works is just mere talk. You can use all the positive affirmations that you want, but it's not going to change anything if you truly don't believe it. And a lot of times when you're dying inside, it's really hard to believe what you're saying. I've been there. I can relate to that. But I've never used positive affirmations as a way of trying to convince other people that I was happy. Because I'm telling you right now, I tell the very few female friends that I have that if you're happy, it shows. Not this whole, oh, I'm glowing crap. No, that has nothing to do with it. A lot of times a chick can have sex. She could be happy for the moment and her makeup and the lighting in the picture can look good and she's glowing. No, none of that. None of that. I'm saying your just overall demeanor will be perceived and the energy will be picked up by people that barely even know you. Like, it's not this 2D image that you're, once again, trying to use to convince people that you're happy. The vision boards, all that crap is just a way to deter you from the fact that this woman is miserable. In the case of Shells underscore FAC 14, this woman is miserable. I don't know who she is. Like, I don't know a lot of these people, but when I see something going viral and it's being debated on social media, I just happen to take a gander and I look. One thing I have been practicing myself is I don't really look at my news feed all that much, but it's just hilarious how when I see something that catches my eye, I just have to talk shit about it if I find it to be remotely entertaining. Hopefully I find something cool to talk about one of these days because I don't want to come off like some negative Ned. But look, this manipulative cunt said, I told my roommates I didn't want people over because I'm at risk. Anybody following this pandemic that knows some of the bare facts of the beer flu, we all know that the median age of people heavily affected are people in the age range of like 55 to like 60 that have underlying conditions like obesity, diabetes, respiratory infections, so on and so forth. People that are immunocompromised. Okay, Shells says that she's at risk. So looking at her picture, it's safe to assume that she's under 40. I hate to say it, but most of the white women that I've known over time haven't aged that well. So once again, I can't really see her picture that good, but let's just be honest. If she is white and she's over 50, she looks damn good for a damn senior citizen. So her roommate replies, "I'm glad that you're seeking to stay safe in this pandemic. That's very wise. However, you can't prevent me from having people over. So you can expect to see Brett over often, smiley face. And if that's an issue for you, you can stay in your room. 6+ feet of distance will definitely keep you out of the virus's way." The information that her roommate gave her was 100% right, because let's remember this. They are roommates, so it is safe to assume that they split the rent where they live. Also, when they split the rent, they both have obligations to a contract. You basically have your side of the house, I have my side of the house. I have my rights, you have your rights. See, I posted a link below, and I believe it should take you to my blog, and it talks about briefly how women are more likely to have their rights given. A woman is more likely to have her rights stripped away, or give up her rights, or even want your rights to be stripped away for the mere sake of safety. See, her roommate is basically telling her, "You're my roommate. We have a contract. I have my rights. If you feel that it is unsafe to stay here, then you can leave. And because you have a contract, I don't want you to leave. I'm just letting you know that I have my rights, you have your rights. So you need to do what it takes to be safe. That doesn't mean that I'm going to drop my rights in order to make you feel safe." This is the same as my next door neighbor does not like guns. He's anti-gun. But I'm pro-gun. I believe in guns. I believe guns is safety. I'm not throwing my guns in the trash because my next door neighbor doesn't feel safe. I'm not obligated to do that. I have a right to bear arms. I'm going to exercise that right. People that have bought into this ideal of quarantine and self-isolation and curfews and crap like that, those are the people that have given up their rights because they don't know the amendments. Like, they're clueless. A lot of them are communist at heart. And like Thomas Jefferson once said, if you would sacrifice liberty for the sake of safety, you do not deserve either. So I respect this roommate's response. It wasn't rude. It probably was just as condescending as this Shells girl trying to manipulate somebody into saying your boyfriend can't come over, because let's just be honest here. It's a good chance Shells doesn't like Brett. It's a good chance that Shells ain't getting no dingling, so she's jealous. And it's a good chance that Shells isn't even close to being immunocompromised. She's just a manipulative cunt. And a lot of times when women aren't getting their way, they will go into that headspace of being manipulative cunts. Solipsism rules over their world. They only see their world as important. So once again, I don't care how people feel about this beer flu floating around, because the fact of the matter is, my rights are my rights and your rights are your rights. I believe in personal responsibility. If you're not intelligent enough to safeguard yourself away from something that is comparable to SARS or the flu, then you're an idiot. It's that simple. Next time I get on here, I'm definitely going to reflect on the AIDS pandemic of the 80s and the late 70s and early 80s, because I need people to understand that there are parallels to how this is being handled by people and the government. But as we all know, 20, 30 years later, you can pretty much simplify the causes of AIDS. And obviously 20 or 30 years ago, they were ignorant to some of those things. But the fact of the matter is, we saw nothing like AIDS before. And the little data that we had on AIDS, it was easy for people to be ignorant to that fact, because once again, the behaviors of society made it hard to believe that something like AIDS would be as prevalent as it was. So once again, it all comes down to, dang, people don't wash their hands. People don't believe in personal space. People are not hygienically educated. So therefore, there are a lot of things going on right now where it's very safe to assume that your average person doesn't really know how to safeguard themselves from something like the flu or the common cold, or even anything that can be considered as airborne. So long story short, a woman's word. Honestly, I take it at face value, because a lot of times when a woman is talking, I know for a fact that they're saying whatever they need to say that is going to be in their best interest. And I do believe that this Shell's woman is just being a jealous, manipulative cunt. And I don't care what anybody says. My videos aren't monetized anyway. These are my opinions. Thumbs down me all you want, but just make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Until we meet again.